Okay, good morning and thank you very much for joining us. Indeed, have to start off apologizing for coming a bit behind schedule. Doesn't matter whether it's a bit, whether it's a lot, it is behind schedule and we regret it. But we've sorted things out as much as possible. Our guest is Dr. Stephen Okwori. He's also been waiting. He's a security consultant and policy analyst. He joins us from our Abuja studio. Well, Dr. Okwori, good morning to you, sir.
Yeah, good morning, Uncle Yori.
Thank you very much.
I'm happy to be here again. Thank you.
It is our pleasure. Everybody's been talking about it. There's no reason we should make an exception of ourselves. We're talking about the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory yesterday, confronting, as it were, military. They were Navy men, but they were military personnel, and there seemed to be something of an altercation. Now, I don't know, everybody, not excluding social media, has been on that matter. First of all, what are your thoughts when you just look at what happened there? Maybe when you look at the behavior of the man in military uniform, and indeed the Minister of the Capital Territory, who had gone there on some official business, it appears, to sort of see that some things were done according to how they were ordered. What are your thoughts on that whole issue?
Okay. Thank you for having me. Okiori, for me, the issue was as simple as ABC. Yeah, what happened yesterday was needless. It was an embarrassment and all that. I'm pretty sure that what is trending on the media or in the media right now, even the international communities and the Nigerians outside the shores of this country are watching and all that. But the fact is, I see what happened yesterday. Yeah, because what the minister has has civil authority. He has powers. We can't take that away. He has constitutional powers, right? The kind of powers that governors have at the state is also applicable to that of the minister in the FCT. And also the military, whether we like it or not, also have powers, right? The minister is an appointee of the president. Don't forget that the president is also the commander-in-chief of the armed forces, which of course the young officer is also, the president is also his boss. Now, these are two appointees showing some kind of powers yesterday. Let me play you a script here, Uncle Yori.
Okay.
If the conversation had gone this way, the way I'm going to narrate it, then you and I will now see how the outcome would have come out to be. When the minister got in there yesterday, a question from the minister to the naval lieutenant is, I discovered that you are developing on a land that has not acquired valid legal documents. And from what I've found out, there's no approval for the building plan. It is now for the lieutenant to respond to the minister. Sir, from my information, from the knowledge I've gathered, this land has valid documents and it has approval for the building that is ongoing on the site. All right, from the minister now. All right, yeah, okay, I am the minister of the FCT. Those documents you are talking about or you have mentioned, I haven't seen them, right? So go back and tell your superior, since you are acting on orders from your superior, go back and tell your superior that he needs to see me in my office. Now, the lieutenant will now say, okay, sir, I will deliver your message based on what you have said. I think ordinarily at that point, the lieutenant would have given the minister a compliment, perhaps a salute, right, for having that conversation. If the conversation would have gone the way I have narrated, we would have seen what we saw yesterday. So what played out yesterday for me was needless. There was no understanding. I was seeing some kind of show of some powers, right? I was a bit disappointed in the way and manner the minister took the whole thing, the level he went to. You cannot see an officer standing on orders. Don't forget that the military have command structure, right? They obey orders. An order was given by a superior officer. The minister did not have any reason to exchange words, with the junior officer, right? Calling him names, demeaning names. You are a fool. Shut up. Get out. And all that. It was uncalled for. That was decorum missing completely in that whole event or incident that I saw yesterday, right? So I think that there was some kind of mix-up. In that same video, we saw where the minister called the CDS. So if he had such powers to call the superior officer in person of the CDS, why will he now begin to go that low, creating a scene when there was no need for that, right? So the point I am making in all of this is that what happened yesterday was needless, right? Because there was clear misunderstanding in the whole issue.
It could have been avoided. It could have been avoided,
Absolutely.
is the point you are making.
Yes, absolutely, yes.
Even though, yes, Mr. Nyesom Wike is the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, even the President on occasion has jocularly referred to him as our landlord, so by extension, just every land there. And by the way, the land that is causing this whole brouhaha, it's reported to be owned by a former Chief of Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Awal Gambo, retired, which will probably explain why, it was you can't really know from the fatigues unless you are part of them, which branch they're in. It looks like all of them wear fatigues from time to time. But the naval lieutenant, why it was him and not a soldier, I don't even know if I'm saying that right. A naval lieutenant, he's a seaman, isn't he? Yeah, he's a seaman, not a soldier. Why he was there, and he was saying that he was standing on orders, that he had his orders. So he was, deferring to his own chain of command that, look, I didn't put myself here. So there are those who are saying that, whereas they might understand Mr. Nyesom Wike's outrage, perhaps there were different ways that has been suggested. Perhaps there were different ways for him to have handled the matter, just very much as you have said. But I don't know, this is a test case, right? Which again is a different thing. This is not something that you usually see around here. But when these figures in uniform, when they want to, just invoke the full power of the uniform, you recall that even in Lagos at one time, at a housing estate somewhere in Magodo, the governor, no less, had gone in there to try and mediate, and it was police in this case, said, sorry, sir, it's not going to happen. I have my orders. Yeah. So maybe the ministers and all these very senior, high-ranking officials, there has to be a sort of a protocol. They have to know how to deal with these matters, because what do you expect somebody in uniform to do? I don't know. What do you expect somebody in uniform to do? He has his clear orders. He can be asked, I imagine, yeah, who discharged you from those orders? Who let you off? Who allowed you to stand down or to stand at ease, or whatever is the proper terminology? So that is part of the problem. Meanwhile, Minister Wike, I think he just went over there because he was pursuing an aspect of this very land reportedly belonging to the former chief of the naval staff, and something was not completely right there. But people have said that, just as you have indicated, that there might have been another way of handling it. But the minister is still the minister, and that's a problem right there, isn't it? Because he's in the cabinet. So for a cabinet member to be so shabbily treated, that's a problem. At the same time, the naval lieutenant, he has his orders. So how I don't want to go into who was at fault, but it was a difficult one yesterday, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. I agree with you. You see, the military, just the way I said, I happen to be a fellow of the Nigerian Army Resource Center.
Okay.
And I know the military, yes, I know the military to be a well professionally trained, disciplined institution. You can't take that away, right? If you want to see any organized institution as we speak in Nigeria at the moment, it's the military. Now, some persons, there have been different narratives out there about what happened yesterday. Some persons said that the officer was at illegal duty or so. But the point they fail to understand is that once you retire as a general in the military, you are entitled to certain numbers of officers and other ranks that work with you till death, right? So the officer there, the naval lieutenant, introduced himself as the security officer attached to the retired naval chief, right? So he wasn't performing an illegal duty. That's the point. Now, you see, there's difference. We're in a democracy. Whether we like it or not, we must uphold the tenets of democracy. Now, and that does not mean that we should take away what is due to an institution and begin to see how to throw it into the bin, right? The point is, I am a problem solver by my training. Whatever happened yesterday, it is not for us to begin to look at sections of the law that this did not happen, this did not apply, and all that. The point is, if there was clear understanding based on the script that I read out here or played out here for you, if there was this professional conversation between the minister and the naval lieutenant, it would have gotten to the level that it got to yesterday, right? And for me, it was just a show of, permit me to use the word show of shame, because it's an embarrassment that institutions of government trying to see how to exercise their authority, their powers, without clear understanding. There was no need for that.
Yeah.
The minister, yes, you cannot take that away. He has the authority over anything that happens within the FCT, in as much as he has power over anything that happens with the FCT. If he discovers that a land is being developed without proper documentation, and he has gotten the information that the land belongs to a retired naval chief, what was wrong with directing that naval lieutenant? When you live here, I have come here personally to look at what is happening here, and I have discovered that documents are not on my decks to show that the ideal thing with regards to these lands were done. Go and tell your superior that, let him see me in my office. And
exactly.
For a naval chief to be developing a land without proper documentation, I don't want to doubt it, but the naval chief should know the ideal thing, what is obtainable, what is expected of him to own a land in the FCT, and also go ahead to begin to develop such land, right? So for me, just the way I said earlier, it's just a collision of civil authority against a military protocol, right? So for him for the minister to expect that the naval lieutenant will step down the orders given to him, of course, he should have known that it's impossible.
It won't work like that.
Impossible.
Let me bring a viewer on. I beg your pardon. Let me bring a viewer on. Good morning, Mr. George, and thank you for holding on. I was just waiting for Dr. Okori to land. Go ahead now.
Good morning, Uncle Yori, and good morning to the guests.
Yes, good morning.
Uncle Yori, I've been listening to all the commentary since yesterday. I do not agree with those who are blaming Wike for what he did. In human management, there's something called using light to ward off light. It takes a Wike to be able to address that military impunity on ground. I think the blame should go to the naval officer that took somebody's land. It has no official approval and documentation from the ministry, FCT ministry, and it thinks it can deploy his soldiers to fight anybody that comes there. The blame should go to that military, former chief of naval staff.
Yes.
Not
okay.
We say that he's doing his work.
Vice Admiral Awal Garba.
Yes.
Gambo, I beg your pardon. Awal Gambo, retired. Vice Admiral, retired. That, you say the blame should go to him. Okay. Well, you just heard that.
Just let me say this, please.
Okay, please continue.
Any other similar cases exist in that Abuja in terms of land disputes? Only yesterday, when this came out, General Buratai the former chief of army staff, reacted from where he is to support the impunity. That tells me that there are many other similar cases where the military people just use their power to do whatever they like to people without following the rules. That chief, that retired naval chief, is the one that should take this blame. Everybody has its nature on Kuyori, and the nature of Wike cannot be changed by another person. Wike, in my view, is delivering in his job, and he should be allowed to use his nature to give us what we want in that ministry.
All right. Well, thank you very much for phoning in, your thoughts. Dr. Stephen Okwori, security consultant and policy analyst. We're looking at this matter. You see, we want to, I don't know. I just want to hear what people feel. There are those who have said that, whereas there are some, perhaps even many, that want to see it the way this viewer, Mr. George, has related it. They're also saying that, but nevertheless, if that is right, it was pursued in a wrong way. So it's like you have a right, but you're pursuing it in a wrong way, has been the opinion of some. And I think they might have taken a lot of things into consideration because it was all, it all happened in the public glare. Mr. Nyesom Wike, he had some harsh words. Yes, certainly. That you ordinarily don't, speak with uniformed men with. The uniformed man, for his own, stood his ground. So there's a challenge here. I think it just goes back to, I don't know how this is going to end because because the chief of defense staff was called, and as you said, well, if Mr. Wike had that, facility from the very beginning, if only he had deployed it first, he might not have needed to have gone there. But they might say that there's a need for an investigation on all of this, so maybe we'll come and hear about it. But it didn't make for, it made for difficult viewing. To see a minister of the Federal Republic in virtually a shouting match, and I think you have to hand it to the young naval officer, the naval lieutenant. He sort of held his cool. Against the provocation, I think he was, if I recall, things along the lines of whether he was stupid or whether he was get away, get out. He didn't match the minister with any negativity for negativity. I think he was aware that as a man under orders, at the end of the day, this could sort of come back. But that viewer was saying that another high-ranking military person has phoned in to support, what was seen. But let me take another viewer who has come in, Diamond in Italy. Good morning to you, sir. Good morning, Diamond in Italy.
Good morning, Mr.
Yori.
Good morning, Mr. Yori.
Yori Folani.
Yeah, Yori, okay. Okay. I'm a first-time caller.
Okay, we're delighted to have you.
I cannot agree. Okay, I cannot agree less with Mr. George. Illegality begets illegality. Here, once you are out of the military, even if you are in the military, the government authority have access to your home anytime, any day. So long the land belongs to the custodian of the land belongs to the government, they can access it at any time they want. So for the retired military officer to send military to guard land, not Sambisa forest, not terrorism, is quite illegal. So Wike is within his right, even if it's provoked, it's within his right. Because if the military was not there, it's not supposed to go there to go and provoke. So that is my take.
Indeed. Dr. Kuri, you see trouble now. I have heard all sorts of views.
Okay, Ori. Nobody is saying that what the minister went to do was out of place, that he wasn't right. Nobody has said that. I haven't said that here. It is within his powers. Just the way I said, he has control over anything that has to do with government within the FCT. Right. Now, you have mentioned 1 or 2, 3 things that he said while he was there. Do you expect such comments in that conversation that was going on in the heat of it, using words like "you are a fool," "shut up," "get out," and all that. These are words that we don't expect from a public officer, right? Because whether we like it or not, these public officers that we have in positions right now, they also have followers. They have people that look up to them. So if, as leaders, you don't live by example, right, and you are churning out such words on an officer on uniform because he was given an order by his superior that go and protect my property. They call out from Italy, yes. The military are doing their best in Nigeria, whether we like it or not. Go to the 44 Reference Hospital in Kaduna and see our soldiers, our military officers that are there. Almost all of them are amputees. They are bedridden there. In the midst of this crisis, in their small number, they are still putting out their best to fight the insecurity in this country. Don't forget that it's not the responsibility of the military when it has to do with internal security.
Yeah.
It is a police. But because our police are overwhelmed, the military are out there. Because they are soldiers or because they are officers, they are first of all human beings before they became military officers. So are you saying that they should not own properties? They should not have houses where they should live? Because they are military officers, you are directing them to go to Sambisa Forest. They are there doing what they are doing in Sambisa Forest, right? In as much as this has happened, we must commend them for what they are doing. Right. So the point I am making here is that if there are issues with regards to that land that the former naval chief has, whether he collected it from somebody or whoever, I am not privy to the information, right? But the fact is, these issues was not expected to escalate to this level that it is in the public space. Everybody is talking about it, coming with different narratives and all that.
Yes.
It was just a call, right? Direct the junior officer to his superior. Let him see me in my office. Let me tell you something. In this Abuja, there are fake documents everywhere. It is in this country that the former Minister of Finance had a fake NYC certificate. You might think you are dealing with the right authority, right? The personnel within an institution, not knowing you are dealing with some Nigerians that are working in these institutions that are fraudulent. It is possible that the former naval chief has documents, and perhaps he might have dealt with people that perhaps took him the wrong way. It is for the man and the minister to see how to reconcile the documents. If he acquired the land legally and all that, then that's what you have. It is not what we are seeing or what we saw yesterday.
Yes, indeed. I couldn't agree with you more. If you just hold on for a moment, please, Dr. Stephen Okwori, we'll take a quick break. We're looking at the saga of yesterday. A land reported to belong to Vice Admiral retired Awal Gambo, former Chief of Naval Staff, had brought the minister to the location, and that became a problem. But Mike has come on. Good morning, Mike.
Okay. Okay, yes. This is Mike.
Mike, you've got to lower the volume of your television. Pata pata. You've got to mute the volume of your TV. Aha. If you have muted it, please carry on. Go ahead, Mike.
Yes, good day, sir.
Good day, sir.
This is Mike calling from Badagry.
Okay. We're glad to have you.
As regards to this issue,
yes,
we're looking at other aspects of where I watch other clips of what happened.
There are many clips.
He said he said like the people there, the engineers working there, they were being molested by some policemen. And being molested by some policemen, that was when they sent those people down there, the naval officer down there, to go and ensure such incidents should not occur. Not until then they got there, they chased the policemen out, and then that was when the minister came back himself. I think it's of no point for him coming there himself to do one or two things there. He could have sent somebody, he could have looked for an easier way to resolve this whole issue. That's my own take.
Okay, then. Well, thank you.
And order remains an order
in
the military.
Well, thank you very much, Mike, for contributing, your thoughts on the matter. It's clear that there was an issue. Otherwise, there wouldn't have been any reason. I don't know. I haven't been able to see yet what the state of development of the land that is reported to belong to Vice Admiral Richard Awal Gambo. I don't know the state of development of it, but I don't know how usual it is, if it is an undeveloped land, to just put people there. Security, yes. People have been making the comment that look, all our men in uniform. We don't have enough men in uniform. So how is it that we are finding some that are taking on these policing duties as well? There was a policeman there too yesterday. In fact, there was another sub-altercation where the naval lieutenant that we're sort of, talking about now, I think he almost lost his own cool yesterday. But in relation to his fellow men in uniform, that was a police officer. I think he had said something along that. You want to talk to me too? You want to talk? You are my junior. I said, so there's a Nigerian thing that affected everybody there yesterday. Right from the minister, the honorable minister himself, Wike, to everybody. In fact, tensions were very, very high. And I'm sure that the chief of defense staff or whoever, chief of naval staff, chief of army staff, all of them must have been very, very concerned that if one person had just been out of control there, it'll be a totally different story today.
Exactly.
But to the credit of the naval officer, he did know his place, but he would not. Mr. Wike was accusing that side of intimidating, trying to intimidate him or them, and he was saying he's not among those that can be intimidated. And the naval lieutenant, if that is his correct rank, was saying that we're not here to intimidate anybody. We just have our orders. I'm not here by myself. We have our orders, and that became an issue. I hope we don't see this kind of a thing again, and I hope a statement can be made. It doesn't look very good, especially as the important work that you have enumerated part of, that the military is doing, whether it is Air Force, whether it is Navy, whether it is the, the Army. They're doing a wonderful job, but we don't have enough of them. And that's why you can imagine that people are going to grab onto the handle of, you see now, why are naval officers doing police security work? I don't know. It's a difficult situation. We'll just have to wait and see what their bosses say. And how can it be that Vice Admiral retired Awal Gambo, no less, why would he have land that the minister would be saying, because if the minister had felt that I've checked this, what the minister would do first of all is when the matter came to him, he would check the system and he would see that this man either has or hasn't completed all the processes. And so he will know. But that the minister got up and decided that, you know what, I'm the most senior civil servant here. I'm going over there. It was a bit unusual. But Mr. George, who called in earlier, said that, look, people know Mr. Wike. He has his own character. Everybody has their own character. And it worked before. And I don't know if it is still working now, but it was a difficult situation yesterday. It was a very, very difficult situation.
Yes, it was a difficult situation because they wanted it to be like that. That's the fact, right? You see, don't forget, if you listen to that video, you hear where a call, somebody called the minister to the site. A call was put to him, and perhaps they told him that there's military presence at the site.
Okay.
And he tried to see how to come and dare, to challenge. Why under my authority as minister, a land that has issues or something, I hear that there's military presence. So for me, for the minister to even drive to that place himself, if I was the minister, I wouldn't have driven there. Haven't noticed that there are issues with regards to the land. Why not look at the other way? You have director of legal in the FCT administration or FCT ministry. There's director of legal. There's director of development control and all that. Why not allow them to do their job? If the land was acquired illegally, the documentation was not properly done, and the owner of the land has refused to do the needful, right? It is to see how to take him to court or something, right? Not this whatever we saw yesterday, right? The point is, just the way I said, military officers are attached to their subordinates. Is a constitutional thing. It's within the armed forces, where as you retire as a general, must have these people working with you. Whether we like it or not.
For life.
They have gone to protect what belongs to their boss, right? And the minister is aware of all this. He knows this thing. Whether we like it or not, he knows it, right? But trying to see how to challenge the young officer when he knows that this is what is obtainable, this is why it's done. The minister is doing well within the FCT. There are a lot of roads that he has constructed and all that in the FCT that we are enjoying, whether we like it or not. But when certain things are avoidable, just the way you said, if the naval lieutenant had gone over the board and asked that there should be some kind of exchange of fire there, we won't be saying what we are saying here right now. So certain things are avoidable, right? It is not something that we will see at that level. It will degenerate into like a motor park kind of incident, right? You know, so these things, whether we like it or not, is a test to our democracy. It's also a test to our laws, right? But the fact is, whether the laws are there or they are not there, the point is, this what happened yesterday doesn't have to do with law. It's just an understanding. Okay, I am here. We have discovered this is the problem. Can you tell your superior officer to see me? That's all. That's all for me. We will be talking about what we are saying here.
I think what the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory wanted, and emphasizing on, I think, is that he wanted the naval lieutenant to stand down. And the man said, it doesn't work like that in my profession. I was posted here. There's no standing down here. You have no access, and as long as I am here under orders, and that's I don't know. And it was not in a military barracks.
The military operates under command structure and is the bedrock of their profession.
Indeed.
Right? The man must take that order to the letter. That's what they have assigned him to go and do at that particular point in time. And knowing fully well that the military, knowing fully well that that's how the military works, right? It's for the man, the minister to say, okay, now I've come to discover this is what is it, this is what is that. Let me see this superior officer. You know, the lieutenant did not hide the identity of the superior officer. He said he's the retired naval officer. For even making it public, making it known, right? So, yes, for making it known, making it public, it means that there's need for some kind of discussion or conversation. Did you acquire this land legally? Let us see the documents that you have. Because the lieutenant relied on the information that he got from his superior officer, that his superior officer has valid documents and legal papers with regards to the land. Yeah. So it's for them to see how to compare notes, to look at what they have in their office, and look at what the former naval chief has, right? If it corresponds and all that, they will see how to take it up from there. Was there any petition to the minister that the naval chief collected somebody else's land? If there's something like that, it's something that calls for investigation.
Indeed, I'm just guessing that something like that might possibly have happened, because a minister doesn't just get up, out of the blue and decide that I'm going to go to an individual case. Oftentimes you hear people say we're not at liberty to discuss individual cases, but here are the regulations. If anybody has infringed this, but we're not going to talk about any individual case. But Mazi Okoroafo, good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, sir. Good morning again, sir.
Okay.
You see, this is Minister Wike versus Nigerian Army, the soldiers, questions, name with text and name with code. Now, the thing is this, already. There's something I want us to look at. I agreed that Wike is fighting on how to recover federal government property. Agreed. For the generation of Nigeria, yes. Now, the question is, those things, is it because it's tax, or because they were not paying, or they encroached, or they collected the land based on I'm wearing khaki? But the thing is this, no matter the situation of things in a public place, the minister should not blow hot that way. Calling somebody stupid, There are languages to use in the public. Even like this program we are talking about. There's a program, there's a language somebody will use. You call that person to order. You have been doing it. It's ethical. That is what the minister himself should listen. Anything you utter outside now is great. The way the social journalists we have internet with it is different from the way he listens. He should do what that when he comes to public, let him control himself, control his temper, whether it's an extrovert or introvert. To help Nigeria. Let him not portray the image of the cabinet as if we have people that I don't even care, who don't have respect for anybody that's on that. The soldier man is complete. Now, look at, in a situation, if it's an Iraq or Afghanistan, he cannot do that even in Sudan. He talks to soldiers. He will just waste the person. Because those people, they don't take it. But here in Nigeria, I give kudos to Nigeria, even to that young man, the way he composed himself. It's a complete soldier. I'm sure he passed through. Sure, the mother gave him complete breast milk. Because if it's a high season and he ordered the boys, as much as another story will happen in Nigeria, and the way international community, whatever we do, have to be very careful because international communities, when Trump issued statements, he trade. But this was the gathering of past events. But now see how Nigeria has come to trade. Even some people are running away from Nigeria. I'm just calling your for order. Please control your temper.
Yes.
Control your temperament because there is a honorable government is not made for a fight or politics, of course. Made of prudence sake, that was a please do the needful. Save us from all this embarrassment. Good morning, Mazo Krab for Providence. Have a blessed day.
Indeed. Good morning. Thank you very much. When you look at it, Stephen, it's a comedy of errors. As you said, it needn't have happened. What happened needn't have happened. If only the minister, the honorable minister, Mr. Wike, had been of a different disposition. But he was not going to stand for it. Yes, sir.
Let me tell you something. The last speaker, the Arochukwu man, he has said a lot in that his message that he sent. Now, the point is, as a security consultant, when I appear on media stations like yours, at the end of this program, when I get the clips, right, I watch myself, right, to see what I've said. I appraise myself, right, what I've said rightly or wrongly and all that. As I'm talking to you, I will expect the minister of the FCT to get a clip of that event or incident yesterday. Let him watch himself. Are you with me, sir?
I can hear you. Yeah.
Let him watch himself and see where he got it right and where he got it wrong. I know we are not perfect human beings. You understand? Yeah, because and every human being has some form of iota of madness in him or her. Now, it depends on how you display it. I will expect the minister to take a look at that clip and watch it, just him alone, and let him assess himself. Did I do it right in this regard? Did I do it right in this area? Looking at an officer, Mr. Wike cannot look at his child and tell the child to his face, you are a fool. You are shut up. Get out. And all that. These are words that we don't expect from a public officer, from a public servant that is serving the generality of Nigerians. We have well over 230 million Nigerians. As you are privileged and lucky, to be appointed as one of the ministers, you should not see it as if God loves you more than the others.
Okay.
Right.
So let me bring in.
Because that officer has a father as well. So expect what his father what will happen to the father if the father watches where somebody is insulting his son that he has trained to the level of becoming an officer in the military. Right. This is not acceptable.
Indeed.
Right. So we need to see how to correct the wrongs now. I am not saying the minister does not have such powers to be able to approach a land in the FCT, but there are ways and manner you can put the way you talk to people.
Okay. Daniel in Victoria Garden City. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, my friend.
Okay.
You.
Okay. Okay, you're on now. Go ahead, please.
You see, okay, like what I want to say, I think it's high time that Nigeria should put an end to political rascalities. And because I don't see the minister should speak like that to the public. a military. You know the officer is operating under command. And the guy told him, I'm there by order. The person who gave him instruction. Why start having an altercation with him there? I'm not happy, and I just give respect to that officer. If this was someone like me, it would be a different story. It would be a different story. You don't insult me in public, and like the former chief of army staff have said, we can have to tender apology to Nigerian army. He has to tender apology to that young officer. And he has to tender apology to the entire nation, to the Federal Republic of Nigeria. For insulting an officer like that, it is very, very bad.
Okay.
It is very, very bad.
And that is without prejudice to the matter that caused the whole thing. Vice Admiral retired Awal Gambo's land, without prejudice to whatever brought the minister there. Yes, but the points that are being made here is that, you know, one man was representing the army, the other man was representing, shall we say, he's part of the Federal Executive Council, and he's a lawyer, and so he knows about rules, he knows about all of these kind of a thing. But look, it just happened. It just happened yesterday. I doubt that Mr. Minister himself thought that it would get to that extent. Maybe he had felt that when he had appeared, you know, as the minister, I think he was making the point that nobody is above government or something like that. And I think he was trying to put that across to the man that, as you see me here, I'm representing maybe the president, maybe the presidency. He didn't say it, but he certainly is in the Federal Executive Council, and that should count for something. Well, that young officer was saying that, sorry, sir, be that as it is, my order is that I'm to stay put until relieved. And I haven't been relieved. I'm not at liberty to let you have your way here. And that became something else. Simple. That became a big problem. But, well, I don't think we can overflog this issue, but we had to air it. We had to air it that something has happened that we haven't seen in a long while. I can't even recall having seen such a public outburst of, you know, important members of our society. One a soldier, the other one a high-ranking administrator and politician. Well, thank you very much. I must thank you, Dr. Stephen Okwori, security consultant and policy analyst. This one has caught all of us by surprise, and we hope it can be sorted out very, very soon, and we have much less of this kind of a thing. I want to thank you very much for coming on the program. All right, then.
Thank you for having me.
Our pleasure. Okay, so what we're going to have to leave it here, and we'll wait in case there are any other developments, in case the Army wants to speak, or the Chief of Defense Staff. It's not the Army, because that guy